Welcome back to Movement Monday. This is episode 2, and this message is for the 84% of people out there that will deal with low back pain at some point in their lives, or people who deal with hamstring stiffness and tightness all day, every day. And that message is, it's time to stop stretching your hamstrings. The hamstrings are probably the most targeted area that people want to stretch. They try all sorts of positions to get them to loosen up, but in today's episode, we're going to look at why those poor hammies are often the victim and not the culprit. Okay, so for starters, what are the hamstrings and what do they do?
The hamstrings are part of a three-muscle group, one having two heads, the biceps femoris, as well as two others, the semitendinosus and semimembranosus. They are all provided power by the sciatic nerve. When this nerve is giving a little too much juice to the hamstrings, they're going to hold themselves tighter, making them feel both stiff and tight to you. This is called tone, and all muscles have it to some degree. Go poke those sore spots between somebody's shoulders. Those sore spots are areas of higher tone, and every muscle can get them. The hamstrings are no exception.
Today I'll show you 3 ways to stretch your hamstrings without actually having to pull on them. But before we go on, if you're concerned about something being wrong in your back, before trying anything else in this video, or anywhere else for that matter, you should check with your physio or physical therapist. My spine owner's manual on TallahasseePT.com/manuals will give you guidance on when to seek emergency care. But when in doubt, don't wait. So some background on our first exercise. We want to target the spine. Okay, so picture this. We start our day by bending forward. We go eat breakfast, sitting on our couch, we're looking at our emails. We maybe then go to work, go sit in our car, still keeping our spine rounded. We get out of our car and realize the back of our legs are tight, and what do? We bend forward, we try to get a stretch in, we come back up, they're no better. And with that in mind, our first stop will work on making sure that the low back is not the source of my tight hamstrings. All right, so how am I going to know if I've improved? I want to do a simple test just to check my hamstring length. So this test is going to be here, laying on my back. In this case, we're testing my left hamstring, and I'm going to pick that leg up as high as I can until I feel tightness in the back of my legs. I don't want to force it. At that point, I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'm going to notice how high my leg can go, and then come back down. So for my first exercise, we're going to go ahead and go into cobra pose. And in this case, we're not going to hold it. We're going to do it for repetitions. And so I'm going to come here with my hands underneath my shoulders, and I'm going to press up, breathing out as I go up and down, leaving my lower half completely relaxed. In this instance, I want to go ahead and do it 10 to 15 times, but for some people, that position may be a little bit too much for their spines and they need to start off with something a little bit more gentle. In that case, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and come down onto our elbows, and in this case, we're going to go ahead and hold this for 1 to 2 minutes with some nice deep yoga type breathing. And if that is a little bit too much there, we want to go ahead and come all the way down, laying on our stomachs. Again, not holding our breath, we want to do some nice, deep, controlled breathing. So this movement should be mostly pain-free, if not completely pain-free, and either your spine or your hamstrings should be at least the same, if not better, afterwards. If they're worse, now it's time to go ahead and see your physio or your physical therapist and really check out and see what's going on with that spine. Numbers 2 and number 3 are going to be working a little bit more on the nerves. And we're going to turn down that tone in your hammies. So our first setup is we're going to go ahead and lay on our back. Again, our treatment is going to be for our left hamstring. All right, so I'm going to lift up. I'm going to push down on my thighs, resisting with my muscles in the front side of my thighs. I'm going to hold for a count of 5. I'm going to come back down. I'm going to come back up, and I'm going to repeat. Again, holding for a 5 count for roughly 3 to 5 repetitions. Again, afterwards, recheck your motion and check and see if it's at least the same, if not better. So number 3 is a bit more of a technique to improve the mobility of your nerve. And in this instance, again, we're going to go ahead and straighten my left leg. So when it's all the way out, I'm going to look up, then I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to come out and down. As a progression for that, I want to go ahead and keep my spine in more of a neutral position. Let it in and out, giving that nerve a little bit more of a tug. And finally placing a little bit of stretch to that nerve by looking down when that leg is out and up. I can alternate the legs and work on improving the mobility of that nerve. And as always, recheck to make sure that you're improving the mobility of your hamstrings. Once you gain the mobility, reinforce it and load it until it becomes the new normal. Sometimes you may need to do that once every hour, using whichever technique that you found helpful or a variation of any of the above. So that's it for Movement Monday. If you're in Tallahassee and you want a treatment method that focuses on the source of the problem and not just the symptoms, hop on over to our main page at tallahasseept.com and request your absolutely free discovery visit. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Black Belt Physio, and we'll see you again next Monday.